we interrupt your daily scheduled programming to talk about these two idiots who have the nerve, gall, audacity to think that they can infiltrate Lagonav Island in Haiti and enslave R word and M word its inhabitants.
Federal prosecutors say the suspects didn't plan to go it alone. In fact, the feds say they plan to recruit people who are homeless in Washington, D.C. to serve on their, quote, expeditionary force and take over a small Haitian island. The grand jury indictment handed up today charges 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas from Argyle with conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country, as well as a charge of production of child pornography. Record Joe Weisenberg was booked into the Collin County Jail in July. Prosecutors say he was in the U.S. Air Force at the time. The place they are accused of plotting to invade is called Lagonav Island. It is part of the Republic of Haiti. It's not small. In fact, that island has about 87,000 residents. Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas plan to lead that expeditionary force by sailboat to the island, murder the men, take control of the island, and then turn the women into sex slaves, according to prosecutors. The feds say the plan dates back to August of last year. They say Weisenberg enrolled in a Rockwall Fire Academy to learn command and control protocols, but flunked out in February. They say he then traveled to Thailand to learn how to sail, but didn't enroll in the school due to the cost. The feds say Thomas, meanwhile, enlisted in the Air Force in January and in March changed his station assignment from Germany to Maryland to better coordinate the invasion and recruit the homeless population in D.C.
Bonsoir. Y'all already know. I don't need to do the intro. We need to get straight into it. Y'all been blowing me up with this story as if I haven't already seen it. I put it on my story. Shout out to all y'all that follow me on Instagram. Let me just let y'all know, right? If there's something that happens and you don't see me do a video about it, that's either because I am mentally just not able to do it. I genuinely didn't have time. And by the time I would have time, it doesn't matter anymore. Or I already talked about it on one of my social media platforms. So please go follow me, and also always check the community tab because there are occasions where I will just post my opinions on the community tab. However, we had to talk about this nonsense because Lipa Fest sauce. Like, honestly, there's been a lot of discourse about this. A lot of people are like, oh, that's what the colonizers do, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, what did we expect? And then you have people that are like, well, they wouldn't have gotten that far. And then you have people that are like, well, so maybe it would have went through. And to be quite honest with you, I agree with all of these points, right? And before we go any further, I'm very sure you guys are like, why can't you say the words? It's YouTube, very sensitive. I'm sorry. Read between the lines. Everything you need is going to be linked down below. So as many of you guys know, I used to talk about Haitian politics and news on here all the time. However, I saw that it was taking an emotional toll on you guys. A lot of you guys genuinely just could not click to get the information because it hurt you guys that bad. And genuinely, I wanted to provide content that you guys not only resonated with and thoroughly enjoyed and were able to click on without like getting really sad. But also, I'm not going to hold you. A lot of the news is the same shit. A lot of it is sad. A lot of it is depressing. A lot of it is very like off-putting. And it kind of sucks to see Haiti in a negative light all the time. So I took a little pause from it. Eventually, I'm going to pick it back up, but it's not going to be the way I used to do it. I'm trying to find a way to do it to make it positive. But at the same time, it's like I'm not in the business of reporting on Haiti news all day. Like that's not what this channel is about. It's Haitian voodoo, politics, and folklore. But at the same time, like I feel like the news was getting really heavy. And with that being said, I feel like since Haiti has been going through so much with the vandals and the criminals, especially the gangs and stuff, I feel like outsiders looking in kind of look at us like we're weak, we're stupid, and most importantly, you know, it must be easy to infiltrate that country, especially if it's just a little island. And let me just tell you right now, that's what you think. But you will fuck around and find out. To be quite honest with you, I've seen a lot of people, like I said, saying, oh, well, we should have let them fuck around and find out. And to be honest, I agree. We should have, because they would have learned a lesson that they would have never forgot. Okay. And then they would have sat there and be like, oh, the Haitians are savage. The Haitians do black magic. The Haitians are devil worshippers. The Haitians this, the Haitians that. And when in actuality, they started that shit. They sat there and they made a plan to murder, maim, and harm the people on that island. That's absolutely disgusting. The thing is, right, Lagonav is a small island, right, off of the coast of Haiti. However, I will tell you right now, niggas from Lagonav, they do not play. Like, literally, Lagonav is like, I like to call it fuck around and find out. From spiritual to fighting and shit, like, them, they don't play. Like, they're peaceful people to an extent, but like, they don't play. So honestly, they really would have fucked around and find out, and I would have been so happy to see it go down. Like, I really would have. Like, I know a handful of people from there, and it's like literally every single one of them don't play. Like, it'd be like it'd be the smallest thing, and it's like, okay, like, relax. Like, that's why I'm like, that's very interesting. Like, I don't know why they thought they would have got away with that. I don't know why they thought the Lagonav niggas was gonna let them in or whatever. But then, of course, you know, you got the people that love Moon Blanc, okay? You got Haitians that love white people. White is right, French is right, Creole is ghetto. You don't got an American or a Canadian or a UK passport, etc. You ain't shit. Listen, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, there really is. There's a lot of Haitians that have like insane elitism to the point where it's like, I'm very sure they probably would have got on the island. Would they have been able to carry out this plan? Absolutely not. They probably would have got there, probably would have found some gullible, oh my God, look, white people that speak Creole. Oh my God. And then they would have been like, okay, come to my house. And they'd be like, hey, blah, blah, blah's missing. That's one thing, right? Haiti really operates on a big village mindset. Everybody's watching everybody's kids. Everybody's watching everybody's husband. Everybody's watching everybody's wife. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But in many cases, it is a good thing because things like that don't necessarily happen. Like, in terms of people trying to infiltrate and re-enslave them or whatever, like things like that, absolutely not. Because very big village community mindset. Also, those people don't play spiritually either. So they would have never gotten far. I guarantee it. To be quite honest with you, I genuinely don't know where these people thought they were going with this ideology and mindset. But at the same time, I get it. Because from outsiders' perspective, we do look pretty stupid for letting this happen to our country. Now, if you guys have been here before, or if you don't already know, I'm that person that is almost always going to take into account of Haiti's history as to why it is the way it is. From America to Canada to France to the United Nations, all these people have a hand in Haiti's demise. However, that does not negate that in many cases we do it to ourselves. And that's with a lot of different things, especially when it pertains to Black culture as a whole. Whether we're talking about Black Americans or the diaspora, in a general sense, for whatever reason, we do have a long history of hurting each other. For whatever reason, whether that is slavery's reasons or colonization reasons, I don't know. But it's crazy because I had to really sit down and be analytical about the situation. I was like, yo, these people were probably keeping up with the Haiti reports and was like, yo, this is what we want to do. We should do it here because obviously they're helpless and, you know, nobody cares about them and they don't care about themselves. Look at what they're doing to each other. Like, and then you got people that are calling Barbecue a hero and calling him some sort of revolutionary, which is absolutely insane. Now, although I do agree, and I've said before, I don't think Barbecue is the one doing all of that because there's numerous gangs in Haiti. And I do want to see what ends up happening to him. But it's like to call him a revolutionary and to like be okay with anything that he's done or is doing is insanely problematic. And that's why I'm always telling y'all, be very mindful, right? Of course, we shouldn't care about what these people think about us. We really shouldn't. However, what you need to take into account is how you do look in the things that you're doing and how they are portrayed to other people. Because this is when you get crazy shit like this. Now, it is not okay, of course, right? Because a lot of people, they refuse to listen and they like to select what they want to hear. I'm not saying that what these people did is okay. I am not giving it a pass. I'm not saying that it is something that was warranted and we deserve it or anything like that. I'm saying that, unfortunate, due to Haiti's current climate, this is what we're going to have to deal with. It's literally the reality of a lot of these countries, right? And again, it's not even just Haiti. Now, a lot of these countries have to pick themselves up. A lot of these countries have to fix themselves, right? A lot of these countries have to fight all the imperial powers that may. That's why it's very interesting, like, especially when people talk about immigration and they're like, oh, we don't want migrants here. And why is America and France, whatever, they give so much money to these countries? Why is France, you know, still doing this for this country? Y'all need to understand. And it's weird because it's like, it's not that hard to read, right? It's not that hard to look these things up. At the end of the day, all these countries owe these countries, okay? Because they took their land, they took their people, they enslaved their people, And although, yeah, that was 100 years ago, it still affects them to this day. And it leads to all of this shit. It's like I always say, right? Many things can be true at the same time. Again, many things can be true at the same time. Although historically, the US, United Nations, France, Canada, whatever, have had a foot on Haiti's neck, okay? From embargoes to taking their gold, to taking their money, to taking all of this shit. Like, literally, at the same time, we do not treat each other well. But at the same time, why don't we treat each other well? Because of slavery and colonization and all that. It's like, it keeps going in a circle, and a circle, and a circle, and a circle. All of it plays a part. And unfortunately, you have people that look at this, right? They look at this history, right? They look at this historical context. They look at what's going on now because of the historical context, or they just don't read. And they're just like, oh, well, they're all dumb and they're all stupid and whatever. But it's like, what we need to understand is that all of this goes hand in hand, right? When countries, okay, whether we're talking about 100 years or today, go into other people's space and they take their shit and they take their people, they enslave their people, they give them bullshit, they sneak guns into their shit or whatever the case may be. And, you know, there's nothing you can really do to fix it because the damage is already done. The only thing you could really do is offer citizenship and money, right? Stipends. Like, because at that point, it's like, okay, we're sorry, but we're still going to keep doing the same shit because that's how we've sustained ourselves. That's what you guys also need to realize when it comes to all of these countries as well. Like, a lot of them have been sustaining themselves off the backs of all of these Latin, Caribbean, South Pacific type of countries and like islands and stuff. Like, a lot of them are only where they are because a lot of them have profited off of the demise of all of these little colonies or these little countries or territories that they own. If you've ever heard or ever talked to anyone from like the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, a lot of these places, like, and it's shit, the list goes on and on. Like, it's so, it's sad because these places are territories, but they still ain't got no power 24 hours. They still don't get the benefits. They still can't vote. It's just like, when you really like sit there and you think about how all of this works, it's very, very sad and it's extremely disappointing because honestly, if these countries actually care to make these people whole, right? If they cared to give back what they took, right? Or they cared to actually try to instill something that the people wanted, right? In order to make their lives better, you wouldn't see crazy people making plots and plans like this because they genuinely thought that they could get away with it. Because that's genuinely what it is. I think that these people saw us as an easy target. And more than likely, they have a problem with Black people, obviously, but not even. I don't know. Maybe there was another option. I don't know. But personally, I feel like that's genuinely what they saw. They saw how we treat each other. They saw how a lot of people treat us. They probably literally saw it as no one's going to give a hell about these Haitians. And to be quite honest with you, it is sad and it's unfortunate. But to be honest, I really wish they would have tried to go through with it. And then, like, we would have made an example out of them, like, wholeheartedly and truly. Because it's just disturbing that anyone would ever think about something like that. To be so intricate in the plan is insanity. Okay, like it's true insanity because it's like this takes a lot of methodical planning, right? The idea and the thought itself is disgusting. It's gross. It's heinous. But this takes a lot of methodic thinking to do. These boys, bro, they learned Creole. Okay. One of them, I believe, actually joined the military. Okay. So they'd be able to have military tactics in their back pocket for when they invaded the island. They were actually going to recruit some more criminals and thugs in order to carry out this mission. They were going to have them as mercenaries. Like, this was like really, really thought out and planned out. And it just makes you think like, damn, why did they think that they could do that to us? And I think that's the part that hurts the most. And I think that's where I'm like, I see it because at the end of the day, us as Black people as a whole, it's not even just a Haitian thing. We do not care about each other. We tear each other apart. And most of the time it's us hurting us. And this is where you kind of get into the whole Black on Black crime thing. And people are always like, no, well, of course Black people are going to kill each other because they live in the same vicinity. We don't call it white on white crime. Why do y'all got to be like that? It's just so sad because y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, especially when it comes to Haiti, right? I've spoken briefly about where I'm from in Haiti. My family's from Cabaret. Cabaret is pretty damn big and there's numerous villages. Cabaret has been invaded numerous times by these vandals and these gangbangers and shit. And it's unfortunate. But one thing I really don't be talking about, especially when I used to do my news videos like about Haiti and stuff, is the fact that a lot of the time the community knows these vandals, okay? Like, think about it, right? Y'all really thought these were Haitians from like Canada coming and becoming freaking like gangbangers and destroying the island? No. Like, literally the people that destroyed where my mom is from in Haiti were kids that my family raised, literally, like the whole village raised them kids and they came back and they tore that shit up. And that's the same for a lot of these gang members that have been tearing everything up. It's not just random people like, oh, it's not like, oh, this person's from the South and now they joined a gang in the East and they terrorizing the West. No, these are people that are being recruited, okay, by the gang members, and they have no problem turning a blind eye to the elders and the people that they grew up with. Okay, that's just bottom line. And it is heartbreaking. It is disturbing. That's why, in some regard, when people, especially Haitians, be like, oh, fuck Haiti, I ain't never going back. Those people are animals. I get where they're coming from. I will never hold that opinion. I think that's a problematic opinion to have. However, when you really look at it from their perspective, if you like literally grew up in Haiti and you're out here getting attacked, churches are getting burnt down, women and children are being R-worded, men are being, heads get cut off or whatever the case may be, and you look at it and it's like, it's somebody that you raised, it's somebody that you went to church with, somebody you went to school with, like that, it just hits on another level. And that's why we need to have some sort of level of accountability in all the Black communities, from diaspora to the United States to the UK to Canada to Australia, whatever. We need to have discourse about this, because it's coming to a point where it's like niggas is looking at us like we're fucking crazy and they looking at us like we weak as hell. And that's why we're continuously a target for everything. We got people out here making fake pages, creating race wars on the internet. If you didn't know about that, look it up. It's crazy. Okay, you got people out here like literally targeting Black communities specifically because they're Black and they think they're easy targets. Okay, you got obviously drugs flowing in and out of these neighborhoods. You got weapons flowing in and out of these neighborhoods. Why? Because we're easy targets. And obviously, they're afraid of our greatness. Okay, and that's one thing I really want you guys to take away from this as well. Empowered Black people is not a good thing to this society. It's just not. It never has been. That's why Haiti was punished as bad as it was. They were mad that Haiti became its first Black republic. They were mad that they successfully revolted and kept away any type of craziness like this from happening. They were mad at Haiti's Black sovereignty, okay, at the end of the day. And it's the same across the board and all around the world. If you look at things from a historic perspective, they were always afraid of us learning anything so that we can free ourselves. They didn't want us to gain the understanding of who we are and what we can do. That's why every couple of weeks, there's some sort of debacle or viral story that just puts us down morale-wise. Like, you ever realize that? That's part of the reason I don't watch the news. And it's crazy. I went to school for journalism and I don't watch the news simply because I know it's all propaganda. The news is not even news anymore. The journalism is not journalism anymore. It's all low vibrational bullshit to keep us down. And it's not even just us. I'm just talking about us because I'm Black. Talking about Haitians because I'm Haitian. Let's, keep up, right? It's unfortunate that it's like that, because it's like once you realize that they're just trying to take your power away by literally making you outraged, by literally like tugging on your emotions so that you don't do what you're supposed to do in this life, you start moving differently. You stop consuming that bullshit. You stop giving it your energy. That's why I'm very, very particular about what I make videos about, because if it's going to drain me, I'm not going to do it. If I don't got nothing to say, I'm not going to do it. If I'm too emotional, I'm not going to do it. I don't care to be the first. I don't care to get all the clicks. I don't care. I'll do it when I do it. If I feel like doing it. If I don't feel like doing it, then I don't feel like doing it. And in this regard, I just really wanted to talk about this because I felt like there's a lot of things we could have talked about in this. And of course, one being that we do not respect ourselves. Another being that I'm very sure people think that we're weak as shit. And finally, I genuinely think that racism is alive and well, and a lot of people keep acting like it's not. I feel like people are just better at hiding it these days, and they're just not going to say it out loud. And I've never had a problem with racists. Like, honestly, I really don't care. Maybe it's the Haitian in me. I don't know. Like, one thing about us, like, okay, you're racist, and like, we really don't care. It's not going to stop us. It's not going to, what is that going to do? Like, yeah, you should respect me, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do. I'm still going to eat. I'm still going to sleep. I'm still going to shit, and I'm still going to follow my purpose. You telling me, fuck you, nigger, da da da. Whoop-de-doo. Like, yeah, I might be annoyed. I might cuss you out, but child, probably not. I've had a lot of racist encounters. Like, now that I look back at it, I don't even think I've done story times about them because that's how irrelevant it is to me. Like, it's just like, I don't care. If you're not going to beat my ass, I don't care. And it comes to a point where it's just like, you got to start moving to where nothing affects you and nothing bothers you and nothing pisses you off. And it's crazy because I know a lot of you guys are wondering like, oh, where are the update videos? Why don't you do updates anymore? And it's like, that's why, because I feel like it is low vibrational. And although I'd love to give you guys that information, for me as an influencer, honestly, I have to find a way to do it that is more responsible and which does not damage your emotional well-being. Okay, that's genuinely what it is. I don't want to keep reporting on things that are going to literally ruin your day and make you call out of work tomorrow because you're so sad for the Haitian people. Okay? Like, I've had it happen where it's like, damn, I can't do shit. I can't function. Like, this is such a sad story. Like, I'm heartbroken. Okay? And it's like, maybe it's because I'm an empath. I know a lot of you guys watching this are empaths as well, or like you feel energy or you feel things differently. So I'm very careful about what I consume. So with that being said, comment down below. What do you guys think about this story? Do you guys think that these men would have got away with it? Why do you guys think that they had the nerve, gall, audacity to do this? And of course, leave any more thoughts and opinions. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.